Hey, this is Steve from Flowmaster. I'm happy to introduce our new Delta Force cold air intakes for the 05 through 17 Charger, Challenger, Magnum, and a 300C, all equipped with a 5.7 liter and the 6.1. Our Delta Force cold air intakes come with a powder-coated heat shield, a washable high-flow filter, a durable polyethylene intake tube with a nice rib design and the Flowmaster logo right here in the center, reinforced silicone couplers, all stainless steel hardware, anodized fitting, and they bolt right to the factory mounting point. Now this is 49 state legal and backed up by a lifetime limited warranty. Now I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get this installed on this Charger here. Okay, we got our 2014 Charger RT with a 5.7 liter here. We're ready to get the stock airbox out of this thing and get the new Delta Force cold air intake. So first we're going to start off is we're going to be removing this engine cover, disconnecting the sensor, removing this one bolt right here, and then disconnecting this breather hose. Then the stock airbox is just going to lift right out. So let's get started. Okay, to remove this cover, we're just going to pull up on this and it just unsnaps. Set this aside. Next, we're going to disconnect the sensor. There's a little tab right here. Just going to squeeze it together and it just unplugs. Next, we're going to remove this bolt right here. We're going to use a 5/16 socket. Okay. Next, we're going to disconnect this breather. And then we're going to loosen the clamp on the throttle body here. Okay, we're going to pull this hose off. The stock airbox will just lift right out. Okay, we got our stock airbox out of our Charger RT here. Now let's start assembling the new Delta Force cold air intake. Okay, we got our Delta Force cold air intake laid out on the table for our Charger here. So let's get started on the assembly. Okay, we're going to start off with our heat shield here. And we're going to put on the air filter adapter. We're going to line up the 3 holes. Now with the supplied hardware, we're going to use the stainless steel Allen bolts with a lock washer and a flat washer. And start these by hand. Okay, now we're going to get our 5/32 Allen and ratchet here, and we're going to go ahead and tighten these guys up. Okay. Okay, next we're going to put on these mounting brackets, and these mounting brackets are going to allow this cold air intake to bolt right to the factory mounting points on the vehicle. So first we're going to take this heat shield and turn it around. Now this is essentially going to be the bottom of the heat shield, and this is the top. So we're going to start off with this bracket. Okay, this bracket's going to go like so. Now with the supplied hardware, we're going to take a stainless steel Allen bolt. Next, we're going to use a lock washer, a flat washer, and a nut on the back side here. Start off with the flat washer first, then the lock washer, then the nut. Now these you want to leave a little bit loose, so when you actually go to install this on the vehicle in the factory mounting points, you have a little bit of adjustment so you make sure it lines up correctly. So next we're going to do the other bracket. Now this other bracket is going to go on the inside of the heat shield right here. And it's going to line up like so. Again with the stainless steel Allen bolt. Go ahead and put it through. And again, we're going to use a flat washer first on the back side here. Lock washer and then a nut. Okay, next we're going to install the gasket around the heat shield here. So we're going to start off down below and work our way all the way around. Okay, we got our gasket on our heat shield. Now we're ready to put on one of our reinforced silicone couplers. We're going to put it out here on the back side of the air filter adapter and just press it on. Okay. Next with a 5/16 socket here, we're going to go ahead and just snug it up. Okay, next we're going to install the intake tube on the back side of this coupler. Just press it on. Okay. Now again with the 5/16 socket and ratchet here, we're going to go ahead and just snug up this clamp. We're not going to tighten it though. Now the reason for this is we want to leave these hose clamps a little loose, so it's going to allow for a little adjustment when you go install it on the vehicle. Now next we're going to install the other silicone coupler on the end of this intake hose. And this is the one that's going to go to your throttle body. Again, we're going to go ahead and just snug it up only. Okay, next we're going to install our 90-degree AN barb fitting here. Now you got to make sure you have the intake tube facing you so you can read the Flowmaster logo, and you want to have the barb fitting facing the back of the firewall. Now with a 9/16 wrench, we're going to go ahead and just snug this up. Again, make sure to have the barb fitting facing the back of the firewall. And say right about there. Next, we're going to install the little grommet, and this is going to allow the sensor to go into the intake tube right here. We're just going to simply just push it in. Okay, we got our grommet in. Now next, we're going to take our stock air box, and we're going to remove the sensor right here. Now there's a little tab. You're going to have to pull up on the tab, and then you're going to have to twist, and then the sensor will come right off. Okay. And then once you twist it, it should pull right out. So there's our sensor. Now we're just going to simply push it into the new intake tube here. Now the sensor is installed. Now we're ready to go install the new Delta Force intake inside of our charger here. Okay, the new Delta Force cold air intake is going to reuse 2 of the factory mounting points on this vehicle. Okay, the first mounting point is going to be right here. We're going to start off by putting this supplied grommet that comes in the kit. This grommet here has some threads in it. So when you go to pull a bolt in it, it's going to spread out and it's going to secure it nicely in this hole. So we're going to start by pushing in this grommet. Now the next mounting point is going to be right here, and this is going to reuse that factory bolt that we removed out of the stock air box. So now let's get the cold air intake. Now again, we left everything loose, so you allow for some adjustment. Okay, now once it's in place, you're going to have to do some adjustment here. So you're going to have to line up the brackets by hand. Make sure they all line up where they need to go. Then you're going to have to lift this out carefully, not to disrupt the brackets where you just line them up, and snug them up for one last time. So now we're going to go ahead and snug them up and actually give them a final tightening. Just going to reinstall this. Okay, we're going to use the factory bolt. We're going to secure down this bracket. Now again, with the 5/16 socket, we're going to go ahead and tighten it up. Okay. Next, we're going to use the supplied Allen bolt here. We're going to put it through the bottom of this bracket. We're going to go ahead and start this. Okay. Now with a 7/32 Allen, we're going to go ahead and tighten it up. Okay, we got the heat shield securely mounted down to the factory mounting points. Now we're ready to put on the new air filter here. So we're going to go ahead and just push it onto the air filter adapter. Okay. Now with the 5/16 socket, we're going to go ahead and tighten up the filter. Okay. Okay, next we need to hook up a breather hose to the cold air intake. So we're going to start off by removing this factory breather hose, and this will simply just pull right off. Okay. Now inside the kit, you're going to get a new breather hose. This new breather hose is 18 inches long. You will need to cut off 2 inches at the end of this, so you get a total of 16 inches. And this will simply just push on to the little barb fitting here on the motor. Okay. And the other end, we're just going to put it right on this barb fitting. Okay, we got the breather hooked up now. Okay, since we got everything kind of adjusted where we want it, now we're going to go ahead and secure down these 4 hose clamps. You got the 2 right here, and then you got the 2 on the throttle body. Okay, next we're going to hook up the sensor. We're just going to just plug it right in. Make sure you hear it snap. Okay, we got our sensor plugged in. Now we're ready to put the engine cover back on. Okay, that completes our install on our Delta Force cold air intake. Installation time was roughly about an hour. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow Flowmaster on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.